Hi everybody, I'm Dr. YZ Tan from Mizu Aesthetic. Today we are going to talk about pores, something that our patients and customers ask us a lot about. So what are pores? Pores are essentially hair follicles or openings on our skin that produces sweat and oil, and sometimes our pores can be more visible, sometimes our pores can be more refined. There are many factors that determine our pore size. So for example, genetics and skin type. So genetics and skin type, acne-prone skin, oilier skin generally have bigger pores because the pores are more clogged. And other factors like aging. As we age, we lose laxity, we lose the collagen production in our skin. It makes the pore size actually expand as well. Other things like environmental factors, say for example the weather. The weather in Singapore is hot and humid. It makes our skin produce more oil, and at the same time this will make our pores look more visible. There are actually many misconceptions, many questions that people ask about pores, and at the same time they would like to find out how we can actually make our pores smaller. So these are some of the questions. Shrinking your pores at home with nose strips or face masks is actually possible, but it's more temporary. The reason is because nose strips essentially removes whatever is inside the pores. So as mentioned just now, our pores can look bigger if it's clogged, which is quite natural, but it's obvious. The nose strips will remove whatever is stuck in your pores so that your pores will not be as expanded with something stuck inside, so it looks smaller. However, this is not something that actually changes the structure of the skin, so your pore size actually remains the same. It's just whether it's less clogged or more clogged. Yes, it's true that people with oily skin have more visible pores because as the skin produces more oil, the pores get more clogged and it becomes bigger, expanded and more visible. But people with dry skin or people who are older can have more visible pores as well, because if you have dry skin, you have more dead skin cells on the surface, and these dead skin cells can also clog up your pores. And when the skin is not as healthy looking, it looks a bit looser on the surface. When it's drier, the pores can be more visible as well. Other than that, as we age, we lose elasticity in our skin, so the tightness of the structure of the skin around the pores also becomes looser, so the pores actually loses its shape or structure and becomes more visible and bigger. Even though our pore size is largely determined by genetics, there are also many different factors that make our pore size change along the years. So number one, like I mentioned, aging. Aging, we lose laxity in our skin, we lose the collagen in our skin. So when it becomes more loose, the appearance of our pores will appear bigger. Other than that, things like oil production and acne breakouts. So for some people, when there's acne breakouts and more oil production, the pores will tend to look bigger in people suffering from all this. Hormonal changes, especially in women, pregnancy, menopause, stuff like that, do actually change the skin structure as well. So sometimes the pore size can fluctuate during this period. Last but not least, people who come to Mizu, their pore size also change and become smaller over time. The answer is yes and no. Unfortunately, everybody has pores, so there will be until a certain extent to how much you can actually make your pores smaller. So there are temporary measures or temporary procedures to make our pores smaller, and there are long-term procedures or effects to make our pore size smaller. So temporary will be mainly your skincare or your pore strips and stuff like that. So your skincare and pore strips basically remove whatever is clogged in your pores so that they don't remain clogged and expanded, so they look smaller. At the same time, facials will help to exfoliate the dead skin, help to remove whatever is stuck in your pores as well, so your skin will look a bit more refined and the pores are smaller. However, these procedures or skincare products do not permanently shrink the size of our pores or shrink the size of our pores long term. So when we want to do this, we have to make sure that our skin is tighter, or basically the skin around our pores is tighter. So I do get questions from patients about specific procedures, whether they do shrink our pores. The procedures that we do to shrink our pores long term would be mainly what we call ablative or semi-ablative procedures to actually stimulate collagen production in our skin that last longer. There are some procedures, let's say for example, a carbon laser peel or a kill switch laser, or even a pico laser, because they see many ads around that says that these procedures can shrink your pores. Technically, these procedures do not shrink your pores because this shrinking of the pores is actually only temporary. So let's say for example like a carbon laser peel or a normal laser that is non-ablative, that means it doesn't burn through the skin. This actually just helps to exfoliate the skin and remove whatever is inside in your pores, just like a facial or skincare products. So lasers like that which are non-ablative do not shrink your pores long term. A pico laser can be done a non-fractional or a fractional way. A non-fractional pico laser do not shrink your pores. It's mainly to help to rejuvenate the skin, make its skin brighter, remove pigments. But a fractional part of the pico laser, which is ablative, it actually damages your skin slightly. So when your skin is slightly damaged, it will heal and it will promote regrowth and production of collagen, and therefore it will tighten the skin surface, and therefore it will help to reduce the appearance of the pores. So procedures that help to reduce your pore size long term would be procedures that are ablative or damages your skin a little bit, like a fractional pico, a fractional CO2 laser, or most commonly nowadays what we do is the Silphoam X. All these procedures, as bad as it sounds, but one thing that I always tell our patients is that before we do procedures like that, make sure you have a proper skincare regime or go for a facial to remove whatever is clogged inside your pores first. Because if you can imagine, if you have an open door and you want to close it, but something is stuck there, you can't close the door properly. So remove whatever is inside your pores first before doing a procedure that helps to long-term wise shrink your pore size. Okay, so as mentioned, there are many procedures can help shrink your pore size long-term. Everybody reacts differently to each procedure and with different results. So the best is if you could let us take a look, ask your doctor, and determine which will be more suitable for you. Other than that, if you do have any other questions, feel free to drop us an email or DM. Thanks for watching.
Audio Jungle.